Oh man, super duty tough work.
We here.
Here we are.
Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful fall evening.
Right. It's hot as fuck outside.
Yeah, it is. It's miserable out there, man. I've been out there trying to get my lawn together, man. You know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah.
But, you know, just sprinkling and shit that no one's doing right now because it's hot. And, yeah, I was waiting out there for you for a minute, and I was like, nah, bruh.
Yeah. Nah.
We'll just sit inside this AC and get warm while this dude show up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. It's Friday.
Yeah.
You know,
a day a little late on this one.
Yeah,
but
day
good
late.
to see you.
know, hey, man, that's salary life.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah.
Project dropped today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, been blasting the internets.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's Friday.
Yeah, you know my thoughts on that.
Yeah, even though it's Friday.
I see. I didn't take my advice on that one.
Hey, man,
I went for self.
Hey, I'm a tag along. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Tag along. Well, you know,
That's true. You're not calling the shots like that.
Tagging along. But yeah, man, it's been a good day. I've been working double duty today, working, you know, my socials and sharing and doing this while I'm working my job.
Nice.
You know, double duty today. So
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's been a good day.
Hell yeah. Well, everybody out there, if y'all didn't know, Illogic DJ Criminals record is out. Change in Mantra is the title. It came out. Well, today basically.
Yeah.
So get that. It's an EP though, right?
It is an EP. Okay. 8 joints. It's on all your streaming platforms. Get
Everywhere.
it on Bandcamp. Get the physical joints. You know.
Support the movement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we do put out music sometimes.
Yeah.
Even though we don't talk about it very
We do
often.
other things.
Yeah, we do things, which is kind of how this podcast came about.
Word.
Through our music careers. But yeah, today, man, you know, we're going to talk about something that we probably should have talked about a long time ago. And I get asked about this on Twitter a lot. And, you know, whenever we start talking about records and making beats, there's always people like, yo, I want to get into that, but I don't know where to start.
Right.
And so, you know, this episode, we want to talk about like how to get into digging.
Yeah.
This episode is Diggin 101.
Yeah.
If you've ever thought, damn, there's so many crazy records in here. I know something's on them.
Right.
But you don't know where to begin. This episode is for you.
Yeah.
For those of you who already been digging, you probably know everything we're going to say in this episode.
Exactly.
This is meant for, you know, those who are just getting started, not the pros.
Yeah, cat's gonna be screaming at the radio or their computer, like, "What about this one, dog? You forgot one.
Oh, why didn't you tell them about the?" Yeah, we've deliberately left certain things out that are not like, you know, that are more advanced.
Right.
And maybe we'll do an advanced episode down the line, and that'll be Digging 201.
Right.
But right now, this is Digging 101, and we're just gonna get y'all through like, you know, 8 concepts, tips, you know, that you should follow to, you know, if you want to get into picking up records and making beats and you know, carrying a torch.
Right.
You know, so we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
We got you stuck off the realness, the most infamous, you heard of us. Official podcast murderers, the show comes equipped with viewpoints to share. Grown man ideas for all those who care and want to grow, so go ahead and download. Every single week with a brand new episode. You're not alone in this world, cousin, so we share information and honest discussion and keep repping the culture like we supposed to. They spread gossip, but they never come close to. I can hear it inside their tone. They talk about the industry but never left their home. You get laced up with bullet points and such, plus empowering topics that they never would touch. You can put your whole network against the team, but Super Duty Tough Work's the MVP. Most valuable podcast on MP3. Priceless info, but all of it's free. So take these words home and think them through. Super Duty Tough Work is coming at you. You are now listening to Super Duty Tough Work with your host, Blueprint. Raw and uncut. Adult conversations. No shucking, no jiving, and no bullshit.
You know what I'm saying?
Flipped it and bounced it.
Yeah, just a little bit. You know?
Word.
Yeah, we back.
Yeah.
Super Duty Tough Work. You know what I'm saying? Printmatic. Illogic.
Yep.
Here talking about digging 101, something that, you know, we love to do. And Illogic is kind of new to the beat making thing and the digging thing. So, this is stuff that I'm sure he picked up over the years, fucking with all the producers that he fucked with. But we're going to take it from the top for the people who are new to digging. And the number one tip we got for cats who want to get into digging is to start out cheap.
Dollar bin.
The temptation, though, when you walk in the record store, that there's definitely a difference in pricing and quality of records.
Oh, yeah.
As the price goes up. So you'll walk past that jazz section, you'll be like, God damn, this shit look fire.
Right.
But it's $15.
Exact. Per record. Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, if you start out like that, you're going to be broke fast.
Very fast.
And you're not going to have the flyer shit.
And you're not going to hardly have any records.
No. So when you first start, the goal is to have more records,
right?
Not no records. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so the thing you have to do to ensure you get more records, because the more records you get, the more chances you get of finding something that you like, that's usable, is you start out cheap, man. You don't start out in the $10 section. You don't start out with the records that they got hanging on the wall, the collector's joints. You start out in the dollar section.
Dollar bin.
And if they ain't got a dollar section, you don't need to be there.
Nope.
Not until you learn some shit.
Right.
You need to be digging for at least, I'd say, 2 to 3 years of just going to record stores and listening and learning about the genres and periods and all this shit before you start spending $5 on a record. Because even now, I've been digging forever, and I think about a $5 record.
Yeah, every now and then I'll like, the most I've spent is like 8.
Yeah. I bought a $20 record this year.
I did buy 15,
but I listened to it. That was the key. I was in Philly. We was out there digging that day, and I was buying a good $100 worth of records anyway. I had like $80 joints. I was like, man, maybe I'll take a chance on this one. And I listened to it, and it had so much fire on it. I was like, okay,
it's worth it.
I looked at it, I'm like, why is this $20? What makes this record different than all this other fire I got in my? Then I was like, I want to know what a $20 record sounds like. It sounded like a $20 record. It was like, okay, you can get 10 things off this record if you really want to, but that's. I've been digging for over 20 years. I've been digging since 95.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In 94, I got my first little crate. In 95, I was DJing. That's when I started preparing to make beats. So come on, man.
Yeah.
I can buy a $20 record.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody who's new should. So if you're new, keep it cheap, bruh.
Keep it cheap. Keep it going. I mean, I've seen RJ still buys dollar records.
Yes, I seen him at the joint.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some of the elite producers that still hit that dollar bin first.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll creep up into the 10, 15, 20 every now, but they will still hit that dollar bin, especially because they've been doing so long, so they know they know the players.
Come on.
They know the name, all that stuff that matters. So but keep it cheap, man. Keep it cheap.
Yeah, and the more you know, the better you're able to take advantage of the cheap records.
Exactly.
Because I'll say, like my guy Count Bass D said one time, he said, the purpose of digging is basically to catch record stores slipping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your job is to go in there and find the records that just ain't priced properly,
right,
or got some shit on them that they don't know, for the cheap, and get the fuck out of it.
Exactly.
But you can't do that if you spending $5-10 every record and you coming home with 1 or 2 records per trip.
Yeah, nah.
That's not gonna work, man.
Can't do that.
I mean, on an average day, like say if I'm about to make beats and I got a bunch of records, I'll listen to 10 records.
At least.
And be like, okay, 10 records, I get the samples off of them. Then I'll be, okay, let me make some beats.
Yeah.
So imagine if there's only 1 or 2 things on each record.
Right.
If you only got 2 records.
Yeah, you ass out.
Yeah. So
this is gonna be a short session.
Right. So start cheap, man, and don't look at it like and there's joints in the dollar section.
Always.
You can go to everything from, thrift stores to just your record stores who have a dollar bin to bookstores. Yep. Like there's all kind of places. Goodwill. Like you can find cheap records out there. You just gotta make sure that you're like locked in on it, so that you got like your sensors is up, your spidey sense start tingling when it's a dollar record sale like mine do.
Right.
I be hearing about like, oh, let me get mentally prepared to go to war. I'm about to get Dusty in here. I need to get a little face mask and some shit that I wear out to these spots, because man, I be killing the dollar section. The last year, I feel like that's really all I've done.
Yeah, you've been killing it.
Yeah, just dollar section.
Dollar section.
Just
Heat too.
Yeah, just joints. But it can be done, you know. So that's rule number 1, man. Start out cheap. Rule number 2. Start where you are.
Yeah, start with what you know. Go with what you know.
Right. Like some people, you know, they listen to hip hop and they might hear a bunch of soulful samples. Or they might hear a bunch of jazzy samples. They might think, oh man, if I start digging, I gotta start digging in soul, in jazz, whoop-de-whoop, because this sounds cool what they're doing, because you recognize it. But what if you grew up on rock?
Right.
What if you grew up on classical? If you grew up on those genres, then you automatically have an advantage over everybody when it comes to digging.
Yeah, because you know what the hot shit is in those genres.
You know. The guys who are digging jazz and soul, chances are they grew up on jazz and soul.
Yep.
And so that's in their wheelhouse. They started where they are and now they're good at it. Now they can find banging soul records everywhere they go. I never really grew up listening to like crazy soul like that. We were a gospel house, you know what I'm saying? And we would listen to like pop music. You know, it wasn't no rap really back then. So it's like, so I didn't really have this crazy knowledge of, outside of like popular soul singers that I hear on the radio. I wasn't like digging. I didn't know like, you know, Etta James or like, you know what I'm saying? Or like just, I don't know, just, I didn't really know none of that shit that I buy now. But I started where I was at, and that kind of helped me kind of be better buying shit than other people would have.
See, for me, it was jazz.
Yeah.
Because I played the sax when I was younger, so all I listened to a lot was jazz and soul, because my mom, you know, that's the music we listened to in the, you know, on Saturday mornings when we was cleaning the house.
Yeah.
So when I first started digging, it was all the soul records, all the jazz records, names that I recognized.
Yeah.
You know, album. You know, I look and see what year they were made. See what, if there was any songs on the albums that I recognized the names of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just to know like the feel of what kind of record it was going to be. But yeah, you gotta start where you are. Start with what you know.
Yeah. And I also want to add to that, like, because, you know, we're in an age of digging where it's not just, you know, physical. It's digital digging as well.
Yeah.
You might be a dude who listens to a lot of weird indie rock.
Yeah.
And your Spotify is filled with things that you can sample right now.
All the time.
Start where you are.
Yeah.
Like, don't feel like you gotta go buy $100 worth of records to be in the game.
Right.
Like, if you start where you are and you're familiar with punk records, and maybe, I mean, I've sat with cats. I remember when I would go to Care Bar a lot, this cat used to work there named Mike, and he was just like huge indie rock head. And I'd be sitting there and he'd have his little iPod playlist on, and it'd be drum break after drum break after drum break. And I'll be like, bro, what is this shit you're listening to? And he'd be like, oh, it's just some bands. Like, he had no idea.
What he would have.
He had fire. Everything he was playing was fire, crazy guitar riffs. And that is what kind of got me into sampling indie rock a bit, because I would be hanging out there and those dudes would be playing crazy shit. And I'm like, they don't even know. Right. I'm like, bruh, who is this band? What is this song? Right. I need this. But, you know, if a guy like him were to start making beats, they would start right there.
Yeah.
Start with those records that you're the most familiar with and learn those, because it's expensive, man. Like, not just in terms of money,
right,
but in terms of time, right?
Oh, dog.
Like, learning about records and digging is an education.
Yeah.
It's an education in music and genres that you are not that familiar with.
Yeah, because me diving into rock has been a journey.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, I know some names.
Yeah.
So I started with some names that I was familiar with, but then I just started trying shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as I get familiar with, oh, this is the drummer that played in this band. Yeah. Oh, this is the cat that played over here. Okay. Now I'm starting to understand a little bit. You know what I mean? So yeah, but it's a
rock
journey.
Is a deep rabbit hole.
Oh man, it is.
It's deep. I mean,
there's so many levels of it. I mean, just like with any genre of music.
Oh, totally.
But it's just so much out there.
Yeah, I think the first two genres I started really messing with was rock. Like, if I look at my early Weightless stuff, it was mostly rock and mostly just like almost like classical kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Strings and composer type shit. And then from there, I kind of, because I remember in college, I was like, yo, everybody's sampling soul and jazz. And I don't even know that much about digging in. So I'm just going to stick to what's right here. And we had crazy rock section at my college. So I learned through that. And then when I just kept going. So now my rock is just like Mad Diesel. You know what I'm saying? My soul is coming up, but my rock is just insane.
Yeah, I got some soul and jazz shit that I got to bring you some records that I got that's crazy. I mean, you might have heard them. I don't know.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
My jazz is insane right now though. But that's only the last 2 years.
Right.
Because I really never I messed with jazz in college, but then I kind of left it alone. But now it's like I kind of got back into it about a year ago, and 90% of the records I bought in the last year, jazz.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Jazz got some crazy shit.
Yeah, you just gotta have the patience.
Yeah, you got. Oh God, because some of it is too crazy.
Yeah. That's the problem.
Some of it is just too out there.
Like, what am I gonna do with this? It sounds insane.
Right. It's like 10-minute songs and shit. You know, you gotta completely let play to catch shit. You know?
Man. Yeah. So that's tip number 2. Start where you are. Okay, tip number 3, and this is one that's not always possible. We're going to say it anyway. Tip number 3 is to preview first.
Yes.
Whether someone gives you some records, whether it's a friend's collection, whether it's a record store, whatever you can do, try to preview that record first. You know, the thing that a lot of record stores, you'll find out, is that a lot of record stores, especially high-end ones, we found this out digging, they don't want you to listen to some of the records.
Right.
Because they know that just because they slapped a fucking plastic sleeve on it and put a $20 price tag on it,
it ain't worth it all the time.
Come on, bro. That record ain't worth $20.
They're getting you.
Yeah. They know just because it's in mint condition don't mean it got no shit on it. They don't want you to find that out because they know that the real collectors, we're gonna sit there. We might bring our own little portable joint.
Yeah.
We might sit there on theirs and listen to it because we're like $20 is a lot for one record. Especially if you're only spending $20-$30 that day. You want to leave it with something, but they don't want you to listen. So you got to take it on your own to listen to as much music as you can before purchasing it. And I'll give you an example of where that can come in. Like, what's crazy is, and we're talking about rock, is that when you look at a lot of like rock album covers, they look very similar to country album covers.
They do.
And you can get got very easily.
Real quick.
The band names sound the same. Dudes look just as rugged in the 70s where they was playing country as they was just straightforward rock. And if you don't listen to them records, you'll get them home and be like, why did I buy 10 country records?
What the hell is this?
This is awful. You know what I mean? And you're just like, damn, fucking, steel guitar, and it's not fire. But that's why you gotta listen. Thankfully we got used kids here, and whether I'm buying dollar records or, I typically have a rule where if it's more than $1, I'm listening.
Oh yeah, me too.
$1, I don't necessarily feel the need to listen. I'll go with my gut on it. And then if it's like 5, 10, 20, I'm gonna listen to the whole thing.
All 35 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not buying it unless it got some joints. It needs at least 2 to 3 fire samples on it. Or I'm not doing it. So, you gotta preview first, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's number 3. We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
What up, everybody? Blueprint here to let you guys know that all 3 of my books are finally back in stock. That means right here, What a Night. This book is back in stock. It's $10. This is a book about the worst shows in my career. That's 10. Word is Blog Volume 1 is back in stock. That's $10. And also, The Making of Adventures in Counterculture. This book is about my Adventures in Counterculture album. If you have the album, you love the album, you should have a book too. That's $10. All 3 of these books are back in stock for $10 each, or you can get all 3 of them for just $25 right now on waitlist.net. That's all I got today. Thanks for your support. Peace. Okay, we are back.
Word.
Diggin 101 for all the record collectors. You know what I'm saying? We talking about digging in the crates this week. This is just the basics. So don't get mad at us in the comments section.
Right.
If we not shouting out the advanced tactics.
Don't be hating.
Because yes, there are some advanced tactics, that many heads know. But some of y'all might not even know the stuff we're saying. So we're gonna keep it moving. And now we're on tip number 4. Tip number 4 is the Dustier the Better.
Yeah.
Now this is something when I think about the style of record shop, right? Because we came up when all the record shops were dusty.
Yeah, everything was dusty.
It was grimy
all the time. This was before I was even digging, but
yeah, we spent time in them joints. We're like, ooh, it smells like dust and mildew in here. And it's grimy, and you would see just, oh, look at these records. But what's happened since the resurgence of vinyl is that now you got these new, I guess, hipster record shops, right? Pop up. Everything is in a plastic sleeve. Everything is stickered and marked and priced. They done looked everything up on the internet to get the exact retail of a mint condition thing for you. You're not catching them slipping.
Right.
And so the rule I have is that the dustier, the better. Like there was a spot me and Detox went to in Iowa. It was the most fire spot ever. Dude opened 3 hours late. You know what I mean? He was grumpy as hell. He just didn't give a shit. I looked at the Yelp reviews. The Yelp reviews was like, place is unorganized. Hate going there. Guy is an asshole.
Yep.
Nothing's where it's supposed to be.
He was probably like, that's my spot.
Yeah. I told you, yo, we going there on the way out tomorrow, Detox. This is us.
Yeah.
We stopping at this spot. This is all us. Man, it was everything that we wanted it to be, man. It was classic hip hop 12 inches in there for $1. It was so, man, I walked up to the table with like 50 records, like, wow. And he was like, yo, I was like, these were, and then he's like, were all those in $1 thing? I was like, yeah. He was like, well, I might have to look them up and price them. I was like, you could? He's like, man, I don't know if I feel like doing that. I was like, I just give you $50 for all 50 of them and we call it a day. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, cool. He just did it. Like, he looked on me, he's like, yeah, cool, fuck it. There might be a couple that are, you know, more than $1, but they didn't have prices on them.
Right.
But the point is that the dustier the better, man.
Yeah, because you make come ups like that.
Yeah. If you really want to get bang for your buck, and you know, on that tour, I would just get a box because I would know I'm going to spend 30 or 40 bucks. That's enough to hold 30, 40 records, you know, and you got to go places that cater to that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a volume digger.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm a quantity digger. So I need more records. You know what I'm saying? And so I just get more shit. But you know, you got to go places that lend themselves to that.
Yeah, I like the places where it's just records everywhere.
Yes.
Just records just piled up on the floor.
Like, oh, you see that stack over there?
Right.
Oh, I ain't see that one.
Yeah, I ain't see that. And it looked like ain't nobody touched it in like 10 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's probably joints in there.
Yeah.
I love those kind of spots.
Yeah, man. And those end up being the ones where like they'll leave you alone. Ain't nobody fucking with you. They'll cut you a deal, like you were saying. And their selection is crazy because the casual digger ain't gonna go there.
Yeah, if you like a hipster record buyer, you not going there.
No.
You want to go where everything is in the sleeve and mint condition, and you the first to play it.
The new Paul Simon,
right?
You know, it's like, nah, bruh.
Nah.
This is where you go to get that grimy shit. Like you don't know none of these bands on the floor.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't know shit about this guy. I do. I have 3 of his joints.
Exactly.
Like, get out of here. This is us.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, you gotta know that. So sometimes, you know, when you're looking at spots, it could be like you're saying, it could be a Goodwill that has that quality.
Yep.
You know, it could be a old bookstore or something like that that's got records in the back that have that quality to it. But make sure that you know the difference between the people who are trying to, you know, rob you of your money for some bullshit, and the people who just don't give a fuck. They're like, look, you come in here, you go through all this shit. It ain't gonna be that well organized,
right?
But it'll be worth it. You'll find some gems.
I always ask if they got a back room.
Yeah.
y'all got it, like, especially when I go to half price books.
Yeah.
Like, do y'all got any more records in the back?
Yeah.
Every now and then it'd be like, yeah, let me take you back there, and I'll come up on some joints.
Cause they ain't sorted them yet.
Yeah, they ain't sorted them. They ain't priced
them.
them yet. I just come out like, yo, you know, what you know, can I get these for $10? You know what I'm saying? Have like a nice little stack.
Yeah. Nah, Dustier the Better, man. So that's number 4. Okay. Number 5.
Yeah.
Years matter.
This is the one that I'm just now really like getting.
We've talked about this.
Yeah,
before.
we talked about this. Yeah, I was buying shit from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
very low success rate.
Very low, not a lot of samples.
And if you do, your chop game gotta be immaculate.
Yes, and that's when I started chopping because I had a lot of 80s records that I find little pieces and parts that I could use, but no loops.
No
loops.
No,
nothing. Nope.
Yeah, 80 record is tough. But yeah, that's a perfect example of like years matter, man. So basically, you have to, when you start getting into records, you're going to be tempted to buy stuff by the cover.
Right.
It may look cool, but you also should look at the year that record came out. It's going to be on the back of the sleeve, because when you look at the year, that's going to tell you what you need to know, not about that record, but about music in general during that time period.
Yeah, especially if you're thinking about genre.
Yes, because every 10 years or so, genres have things they go through.
Exactly.
Like a jazz record from 1960 to 1970 sounds completely different than one from 70 to 78, right? And shit, 70 to 75. 68 to 74 is that sweet spot. You know what I mean? 74, 75. All fire in there, right? But And then you look at jazz 80 to 85, 90.
Nah,
bro. You don't want nothing to do with that.
None of that. No matter if it's Earl Clue or not.
Doesn't matter. Fuck Earl Clue. I stay away from him. I learned this lesson with whack Earl Clue records. You know.
Right.
Never buy a fucking 80s.
No Ramsey Lewis.
No, stay away from all of them fools in the 80s. Do not touch a jazz record from the 80s.
None of that.
No matter what.
Yeah.
You know, but we learned that the hard way from buying boatloads of whack stuff and being like, what is wrong? What's the common denominator? Oh, the year.
Right. Yeah.
All this stuff in the same year has the same period, whether that was the same instruments, the same engineering. You know, look at jazz like we're talking about. The records are very clean when it gets to the 80s because they were starting to phase out drummers and use drum machines and do more covers. And it was just kind of poppy
and just
R&B
synthesizer.
Yeah, it wasn't as improvised. So it didn't have that feel, that funk that like a 75 rock record got. Even the worst jazz record from 75 probably got some shit on it way more than the best jazz record from 85.
Yeah, man, I don't buy no jazz records unless it's like later than 77.
Yeah.
You know, 78 and down.
Yeah. Jazz ain't gonna get that to you.
Yeah.
It'll have you mad too.
Yeah,
because it'll looking so cool. Like, oh, this look fire. And you play it's like, you know, wax saxophone. You know what I mean?
Just
bad synth.
Soprano sax.
Corny melodies.
Bad stuff.
No,
man.
you don't want no parts of that, man. So pay attention to the years, you know, and that's just jazz. Soul goes through the same things. There's certain genres though that, you know, because I ain't gonna say that the 80s are bad for all music.
Oh, nah.
You know what I'm saying? There's certain genres you can fuck with in the 80s. They was getting it cracking. You know what I mean?
Like some early punk.
Oh yeah, early punk shit, new age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they was just getting it cracking in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Start fucking with prog rock a little bit. It's some shit that they was doing like, okay, okay.
Right.
But you just gotta know.
Right.
And don't assume that it's gonna be tight just because the cover's tight.
Right.
You know, the years fucking matter.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's number 5. Okay, we'll do number 6 real quick. Number 6, and this is kind of an advanced tip, but we'll leave it here anyway.
It is.
And this is that labels and players matter.
Yeah,
you touched on it earlier.
Yeah, I'm just getting into this a little bit.
Yeah.
I still have no idea who a lot of people are. Like Bombay will be telling me like, yo, this person played, so and so play. I'm like, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about, bro. But
yeah, well see that they're advanced diggers.
Yeah,
like, I'm a loop digger. So I don't know a lot of that shit either. Right. I'll know eventually, but I don't look at a record like, oh, this guy played on this and then played on that. But guys, when they get advanced with it, they're great at that.
Yeah.
And so even if you can't figure out, okay, this player was on this record, or then start looking at the record labels that release the music.
Yeah.
Because what you'll find is that record labels are very much like anything else. They have time periods where they're releasing a certain kind of music, and if one of the records is good, all that shit fire.
Yeah.
Like look at Motown, for example. Like if you go back and listen to Motown records, they had a period where everything was fire,
all heat.
Right. And there's labels who were like putting out music around the same thing, doing the same thing. Same rule applies. When they were hot, they were hot. So if you start seeing records, you're like, oh, this color of this label or this logo look familiar. Yeah. And if you got one of those joints at home already,
and it's flames,
yes, get it. Don't sleep.
Do that.
Do that. You know what I mean? Like that shit matters, man. And I mean, I guess it works the opposite way too, because if a record label was putting out some bullshit, you kind of want to stay away from them for a while, you know, for a period. So, you know, record labels matter. The player shit, I mean, I wish I would have somebody on, we should get somebody on who probably could really break down that science of like knowing the players ahead of time in the label, because I'm not an expert at that part.
Yeah, Bombay's good. I'm sure RJ probably knows. Yeah. You know, I'm sure Adrian knows.
Adrian does that to me every time I'm buying records from him. He's like, yo, you know this guy's on this and he's on that too, right? I'm like, no.
I had no clue.
The cover looks cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. It looks like it's fire. But yeah, now that you say that, yeah, I'll fuck with it.
Right.
And they're usually right, because like a lot of times, if it's a jazz record I like, that guy who I like might be playing on someone else's record.
Yeah, drums or horn or whatever. And
that lets me know that other record is probably dope too.
Yeah.
So that's number 6?
Yeah, 6.
Okay, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Where?
What's up, everybody? The deal we're running today on weightless.net is a 2-Headed Monster CD plus 2-Headed Monster t-shirt for just $20 total. That's the t-shirt and the CD for $20 total. The t-shirt we have in every size. That's small, medium, large, extra large, and 2XL. Every single size, men's sizes. We ship internationally, so you can get the CD and the t-shirt, or I should say CD and the t-shirt for just $20 on weightless.net. Go there right now and support the movement. Thank you. Peace. On the block.
Word.
They can't stop us. The most infamous podcast on planet Earth. Super duty tough work. You know, helping you be doper.
Word.
So this week we talking about digging.
Yeah.
Digging in the crates. My brother. So we got 3 more rules left. 3 more little rules left about digging. Digging 101. Okay, we're on number 7.
Yeah.
Rule number 7. And this one is that smaller towns are better than big cities.
Yep. Even the suburbs.
Yes.
Going to the Goodwill in the suburbs is very different.
Yes.
From going to the Goodwill in Columbus.
Tell them.
You know what I'm saying?
Picked over, bruh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All
the
picked
suburbs
over.
got joints.
Yeah. I be in Westerville killing it.
Oh, bro, that shit goes for so many things, man. Shit, like when it comes to digging, you know, digging is also subject to local economy. You know, so you go to New York, or you go to LA, you go to San Francisco, you go to Chicago, you go to, you know, Houston. Don't expect to be coming up on records for cheap like you do in Columbus,
Oh, no.
Minneapolis, Indianapolis, you know, Peoria, Illinois. It's like, no, bruh. It's not going to be the same.
Now you're getting stroked.
Yeah. So even if you live in a large place, I mean, shit, digging in Manhattan is different than digging in Long Island.
Right.
Right. And so I think if you're trying to win at digging, you got to understand that going to bigger cities, it sounds cool, but you're going to get stroked. And those fools are going to tax you like you ain't never been taxed to buy some bullshit records.
No dollar bins.
None. They got a $3 bin.
Yeah.
Probably. You know what I mean?
$3 to $5.
3 to
joint.
5. That's the
Yeah.
lowest you come. You coming out of there, no, $10 just to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not even gonna be fire. So like, I'd say, and going on this last tour is something that just reinforced that for us. You know, me and Detox was going to cities. Like whenever we get to a real small town on day off, we'd be like, we gotta open up the Google and see what's going on here,
Yeah, see
because
what's happening.
I got a feeling something might be here.
Yeah.
And every time we did that, we found joints. But it would be these little ass towns that were like hour and a half outside of LA.
Right.
It wasn't nowhere near LA. Or like, oh, now we in the little ass town in fucking Canada, or we out here in fucking Iowa. It was never like we're in the capital of Iowa.
Right.
We're like an hour to 2 hours outside in a smaller town, and that's where we would find the joints, man. And they would be affordable, you know. And because the thing you gotta look at is here, like we're in Columbus, but it's a lot of people like us here.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people collecting, a lot of people making beats here.
Yeah.
So you know, when you get to the spot, you might see your man's there. I
Right.
see you there. I
Yep.
see fucking Bombay there. I see Rawls. I see RJ.
Yep.
And what you think they looking for? They looking for the same thing you looking for, bruh. So
Yep.
don't think that, you know, this shit is, you got to go somewhere different to get something different.
Exactly.
You know, so my advice to everyone is like, even if you live a place, you're like, man, the records ain't that good here. Go to a neighboring city, you know, see what their little mom and pop record store has to offer. You know, if it's an hour, 2 hours away, just take a Saturday.
Yeah.
Drive over, see what they got. You know, like here in Columbus, we got Mansfield, we got Springfield, we got Dayton, you got Cincinnati, you got Cleveland, Youngstown, like all these little ass pockets, Toledo, Bowling Green, Canton, like all these little places got a record store. The key is to go see what they working with, man.
Yeah.
Make it a little day trip. And you might find some shit that blow your mind.
Probably will.
You know, so like that's my advice to people, man. But you go to Chicago.
Stroke.
Go to Nashville.
He's stroking.
Yes. You're gonna get bent over, bruh. Don't expect to catch no deals in those cities. I'm not saying you can't find shit. I just think that the bigger markets are really not for beginners.
Yeah.
Like I think if you're an experienced guy, you can go anywhere and find joints. Right. Big city, small city. But I think if you're inexperienced, which is who this podcast is for right now, you need to be sticking to small, inexpensive cities and record stores.
Yes, sir.
So that's number 7. Okay. Number 8. there are no rules.
There are no rules. That's the biggest rule that I learned.
Yeah.
Is that there are no rules.
Yeah, there's something on everything.
Doug, I found a crazy sample on this Jimmy Swaggart record that I found.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like one of my dudes just gave me his mom's collection because he was moving, and it was like mad, like old, like country gospel stuff.
Yeah.
Dog, I was finding so many joints.
Them bands back then.
Man.
Look. Hey,
and the years were right.
Yes,
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
You know what I'm talking about.
The years were right. So
man.
I was like, okay, like one weekend, it was like a Saturday. I was like, all right, let me go through these. You know what I'm saying? Because I was dreading it. You know what I mean? Just because,
yeah,
I was dreading it. But I was going through. Every now and then something be like perk me up, like what?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of dope vocal shit on those records.
Oh, totally.
Really good.
Yeah, I've sampled old gospel records like that, man. For your record.
Yeah,
like Celestic Clockwork's got a joint on there like that.
Yeah, so yeah. You can always find something on things.
It's true, man. And the thing that I think some people get caught up on when they start digging is like they start thinking that, I got to do it like that person did it.
Oh yeah.
Or I got to do it like this person did it. And maybe, we all follow people who dig as well. And sometimes like, man, this dude is finding joints. I gotta do what he doing or go where he going. Mm-hmm. The point is not to just follow what everybody else is doing. It's to find what you need to make the dopest shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes that may mean you may not even need to go to a store.
Right.
Maybe your family got some records. Maybe your homies got some shit. Maybe your friends got the local rock, you know what I'm saying, archive that you can go through. Whatever the fuck, use what's around you and know that ain't no rules, man. Like, ain't nobody gonna judge you for sampling some shit as long as it's fire.
As long as it's heat.
Like, if it's fire, no one cares. People are like, man, where you get that from?
Like,
I can't tell you, bruh. It came out last year, right? Like, if we go back through the history of hip hop, like, it's easy to look back on it now, but a lot of the hip hop records that even we grew up on, some of the records they sampling were records that came out right then. Mm-hmm. Like think about like Nice and Smooth, and sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. Like that's like that record came out the year before they sampled it.
Yeah,
like those examples are all around hip hop. Like they would just they wouldn't do it for the whole record, but if something was dope, they were gonna use it.
Yeah, of course.
No one's like, oh man, I can't believe you used this record. It just can't. No one cared. Mm-hmm. We're gonna throw a drum break behind this shit. It's gonna sound fire. It's fire.
They're doing it now.
Right? Like people don't really trip like that, man. I think the rules mindset is something that you want rules when it comes to production, so you can learn your shit technically.
Right.
When it comes to sampling, you want your ear to be open to everything, because like you said, a Jimmy Swaggart record, the average person would be like, I ain't sampling this, ain't nothing on that, I don't want to hear this, or they'd be like, nah, I keep them whack records.
Right.
You was like, let me get those. I might not listen to them today.
Yeah.
But one day I'm gonna sit down with these, and I bet you there's some shit on it, man. And I've had similar situations where you just don't know, but when you keep your mind open, you be finding some shit like, damn. You walk around and you hear some shit playing in a restaurant you sitting there. Man, let me Shazam that real quick. You Shazam it, it's some old shit you never heard of. You're like, oh, let me send myself a text. With this title.
Commercials?
Yeah.
Dog, I done found a couple commercials that I had to like wait till they came back on so I could at least like get my record on. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Like some commercials at the beginning, like, oh shit. Yeah,
but if you got all these rules, you'll miss that shit, man. So one thing, we're giving y'all tips and some things, some guidelines, but these ain't rules,
right?
There's people I know who make fire ass beats and they don't have no records.
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, they YouTube everything. They figure out how to do their thing. So like, we're obviously record collectors. I sample off of Spotify too. I sample off everything, bro.
Yeah, me too.
So, but there's no rules, man. As long as you're dope.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Yeah. Is it dope or not?
Yeah. Does it bang?
Yeah. Does it bang?
I don't care what you sample.
Right.
It's a new record. Who gives a shit?
Right.
It's fucking fire.
Came out yesterday? Oh, okay.
Nice flip. Wish I'd have thought that.
Exactly.
Because that shit happens too, where someone will sample something that's recent and I don't think, damn, that's fucked up. If they freaked it, I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
It was right there. I didn't even hear that shit, And so, no rules.
No rules.
Last joint.
Last one.
You want to do this one?
Yeah, man, covers matter.
Covers matter. And that, we probably should have made it number one. But
yeah, covers matter.
Yeah.
Like every now and then you'll find a record, be a name of a band you ain't never heard of. Look crazy ass looking record.
Yep.
You just gotta most of the time it's gonna have some shit on it. The crazier the cover, a lot of time the crazier the record.
It's very true.
You can get got though.
You can get got. Yeah, you can. And like I was talking about how like the country rock records look like the regular rock records from time to time. And they all look crazy. You're like, ooh, this got some shit. It's just banjo and some fucking backwoods bullshit. Like, oh, fuck this record.
Washboard.
Yeah, washboard and steel guitar. You're like, fuck this record. But yeah, in general, the cover matters. In the same way they say, you can't judge a book by its cover, but you can judge a record by its cover at least 70% of the time.
Yeah, a lot of it.
And in that era that where all the shit is that we like of digging, the cover was a big indicator. Definitely. That at least the art was gonna be fire. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like we're in a real minimalist era of art and design, graphic design. So I don't even know if that really is a good indicator for records now.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't buy newer records. I haven't started. I haven't even dove into that place yet. Yeah. So I don't even pay attention. Like when I go to the record store, I walk straight to the dollar bin. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even look at the other stuff. Just like every now and then I'll dip into a $3 record here and there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I don't even pay as much attention to the newer joints. So I don't even know.
Oh yeah, me neither. I'm just thinking like just even as a listener though, like when was the last time an album cover for a new record made you think I need to hear that record?
It's been a while.
It's been a while, right? Like everything is so minimal now that I'm not just, you don't see the covers, you're like, what the fuck is that record about? Right. Whereas I think like a lot of 70s records did that to you. Yeah. I think about that King Crimson album cover with like the fucking eyeball and a screaming fucking face on it. It's all pink and looked crazy. Like that shit made you feel something emotionally. Like, what is this? But you don't really have. I'm sure there's some, and someone's gonna have to let us know. But I don't necessarily feel that, and I think that that's probably a consequence of the digital era. Yeah. Because now the album cover is just kind of inconsequential because it's so minimal on our phones, and it's not like. Whereas back then it was like this big 12 by fucking 12 thing. You saw that first,
like a poster almost.
Yeah, music wasn't leaking like that, so it was like, okay, I heard their single, I ain't heard of them. Who's looks craziest? That one. And you bought it. Now it's like, who cares? It's fucking an inch by inch. I can't see any details. I guess I get to listen to it anyway. Right. So yeah, it's just different now, man.
Very.
Okay, so that's it.
That's it.
That's it, man. Digging 101. If you interested in digging, I hope this helped you. If you a novice or you just an intermediate guy, I hope this inspired you to go cop some records. And I'll read them back real quick. Tip number 1, start out cheap. Tip number 2, start where you are. Tip number 3, preview first. Tip number 4, the dustier the better. Tip number 5, years matter. Tip number 6, labels and players matter. Tip number 7, small towns beat big cities. Tip number 8, no rules. And number 9, the last joint was that covers matter.
Yes.
That's it for this week. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Super Duty Tough Work. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Follow the podcast on SoundCloud. Peace.
I wish I would have somebody on. We should get somebody.
Super Duty Tough Work.